There's a lot of crazy things going on in the world right now. And you might be feeling scared, or maybe you're feeling frustrated or discouraged or very sad at the current state of our world. You're not alone in that, and a lot of those emotions can be coming up for all of us. But I want to tell you right now that you don't have to be afraid. You don't have to be discouraged or scared. And in fact, you can be excited. And by the end of this video, you're gonna feel a whole lot better than you do now. You're gonna feel a whole lot more peace, a lot more excitement and anticipation for what's to come, and a lot more joy. You might be thinking to yourself, okay, how am I supposed to feel joy and excitement and peace when there's war going on and breaking out around the world, when there's so much suffering? All these things are coming to the surface, like stuff that's happening in Hollywood and the child trafficking and the crimes against humanity, things coming out of the medical system. It goes on and on and on. If you're familiar with a detox process, if you're someone who has a lot of toxins built up in your body, there's a lot of disease and illness and lower vibrational stuff going on, and you do a detox in order to get that out of your system, what's going to happen? You're going to experience some symptoms that aren't very nice. Like, you're not going to feel very good. You could have headaches, you could have nausea, you could have diarrhea, you could have rashes. All these sorts of things can happen when you're doing a detox, because that's the stuff getting out of your body. Right now, Mother Earth is detoxing. Earth shifted into a fourth density planet back in 2012, and fourth density is a very different frequency than third density. So what we're seeing happening now is we're seeing a lot of that third density energy is being brought to the surface so that it can be released and let go. It's actually a good thing. So we're in a process of healing. It just feels pretty rocky right now as we're going. What is actually happening here is we are in the new Earth. The old Earth is still here as well. Dolores Cannon explains this, where it's not like we're going to go to another Earth when we're going to the new Earth. We're not going to get on a spaceship and, be transported to some other planet. It's a vibrational shift. It's a vibrational change and experience in this concept of the old Earth and the new Earth. And you can almost look at it as overlaid. I've tried to kind of show that here in this diagram, where you got the old Earth and the new Earth, and they're overlapping each other right now. And that's why there's those of us who are vibrating in energies more of love and acceptance and oneness and unity, yet are still seeing so much devastation and separation, fighting, and all this kind of thing. Bashar explains it almost like a glass wall, where there is, in essence, a separateness, but we're still able to witness it. And as time goes on, though, those Earths, we're going to see a bigger gap in between the old Earth and the new Earth, where you will, depending on which experience you are in, whether that's the old Earth experience or the new Earth experience, you're going to see less and less of the other, because there's more of a distance between the two. So it's a really, really important time that we are in right now, and to think of for yourself that we want to be shifting our vibration so that we are essentially going into the experience of the new Earth. At least that would be my preference. To each their own, whatever you would like to do. Most people who would be coming across this kind of video would want to be an experience more of love, of oneness, of peace, of unity, working together, supporting each other, where we're not seeing all this fighting and killing and suffering and torturing of each other. And that's fourth density in this new Earth is energy of love. It's an energy of peace. And so obviously the way that we experience that is by shifting ourselves internally to that frequency. So the intensity that is here right now is a catalyst for our expansion, for our growth, for us to really wake up to what's going on, to see that we're in a matrix, that we're in a game. And by how we tune ourselves is therefore what we are going to experience, what we're going to create in this reality. So it's very exciting once you begin to understand this, because then you're not the victim anymore. You're not the one that, oh, all this stuff is happening to me. You're in a power position to actually like, okay, I choose this experience. I choose to be in a loving energy. I choose to be in service to others. I choose to love and forgive, and I choose peace, and all of these kinds of things. And it's up to you. You're going to experience. Just to give a bit of a further identification. So old Earth, again, this is third density. This is what majority of humanity is still in right now. Earth is now a fourth density planet. Since 2012, we have the capacity to host fourth density life, but obviously very few people are actually existing in this energy completely. Old Earth is where we're seeing the destruction, the separation, me against you, your right, your wrong. wrong, judgment. There's a continual fighting against each other. And the new earth is where we see the love, oneness, and unity. So with everything that's going on around the world right now, I'm not asking you to ignore it. I'm not asking you to pretend like it's not there. And I'm not asking you to just say none of it matters. What I am asking is that you become aware of what's really going on. We come into this life experience, we're playing this game of life. In order for us to experience anything, the opposite must exist. So in order for there to be good, there must be evil. In order for there to be light, there has to be darkness, and so on and so forth. So we have a wide variety of souls and individuals playing different parts in order for this experience in this game to function, to exist. It doesn't make these negative things right, but they in essence are needed for the perpetuation of the game. So it can help us begin to dissolve some of the fear that we're having, maybe some of that frustration and negativity, and actually begin to appreciate the diversity of what's happening in our world experience. If it wasn't for the difficult, challenging, negative stuff, we wouldn't wake up and remember who we really are. As souls, we come into this lifetime, we forget who we are, and that's the game that Source loves to play, is to forget so that we can remember who we are and discover ourselves and know ourselves. If this video is coming across your plate, likely you are in that process of waking up and remembering who you really are. As we see that, we can see that this is a game that's orchestrated for us to have an experience. And there are those that are playing a role in the third density old earth, where they're running the world and they are perpetuating fear through the media, through Hollywood, through our politicians, through the medical system, and through our education system and all this kind of thing, where people are staying in these lower frequencies, these lower energies of fear and anxiety and stress, because when we are in that state, it's more easy to control people when they're in this state. This is essentially the game of third density, old earth, that is playing out. You don't have to be afraid of it, but you do need to become aware that that's what's going on, so that you can choose not to participate in that game any longer. So if you do watch the news, I would encourage you that's another thing to let go of. The news is very much orchestrated to keep you in fear, to deceive you, and to keep you oppressed. So if you're not getting the truth from the news, you're not getting the truth from media. All of it is orchestrated and manipulated in order to propagate a certain agenda. Nothing is what it seems. One thing that you can take to the bank, though, is that what is being put out is to separate people. It's always to get people to fight against each other. Even if it's not your war, you feel as though you need to take a position on this side or that side. Those people in the right, those are the victims, or they aren't. And then you will be against people who don't agree with you. And then now here we have separation again. We have me against you. This happened through the pandemic, through getting a certain thing versus not getting it. Now we have people fighting against each other, one side or the other. Political, conservative versus liberal, or whatever country and whatever political party you have, it's that fighting against each other. Race against blacks against whites, or Asians against, I don't know who's against Asians. Everybody loves Asians, right? I wish we could just all say everybody loves everybody, because we're all amazing and we're all God's creation. And religion is another one. Certain religions against certain religions are fighting against each other. But if we're fighting against each other, if we're distracted with that, if we're not having the time or the energy to remember who we really are, to wake up to the simulation that we're in, that we're a soul having basically a dream experience, we're projecting our consciousness into this reality in order to learn a lesson, in order to grow. We're distracted from understanding our power to create our reality, that it's our thoughts and our emotions, our feelings, that essentially tune us into frequencies that will change the reality that we are experiencing. If too many people realize this, then there's not enough people to make the machine go forward for these few people that are running the world in the old earth game. So you don't need to be discouraged. You don't need to be scared or fearful for all the stuff that's coming up around you. You're experiencing more of this, you're seeing more of it because you are on the verge of your transformation. All the stuff, remember in the detox process, all the stuff is bubbling up before we're going to experience that healing, that new body, that freshness, that aliveness. So you should in fact be encouraged that you're going through this. Your soul is ready to graduate to fourth density, the new earth. And this is just a process of pushing out all the stuff that needs to get going in order for you to shift into that frequency. So this is an exciting time. This is like our souls came here and we were like, we want front row seats for this biggest thing that's happening in the history of planet Earth. And you're very, very adventurous. We'll put it that way. Okay, so when we think about this shift that's happening from old Earth to new Earth, I can't leave out touching about this process that's happened, and Dolores Cannon has talked about it, about the 3 waves of volunteers. And what happened is Earth was on a trajectory, basically basically to destroy itself. And then there was, especially when that nuclear bomb in this whole scenario went down, Mother Earth essentially put out a call. Mother Earth is a being. Every planet in the cosmos is a being. When God source energy was like, I'm expanding out into all these different expressions in order to experience myself, it started out as the cosmos and the planets, and then life grew on the planets and expanded more and more and more until here we have all these different varieties of life. So Mother Earth is a being. She put out a call for help because we've seen this over Earth's history where we have, as a planet, have evolved to a certain period of time. And then we've been on the tipping point of complete destruction or evolution. And whenever we've gotten to that tipping point, it's always gone to the destruction side. So we've had, the Tower of Babel in the Bible, we've had Atlantis, these different times where everything collapsed. And here we are moving again, where we were essentially moving to that point where we advanced to such a point. And now it was like, so just on edge, more likely that we were going to destroy ourselves again versus finally making that shift to a fourth density planet. So Mother Earth put out the call for volunteers, and souls around the cosmos who felt a connection to Earth volunteered, even though they didn't need to. It wasn't required for them to come and essentially tip the scale in terms of raising the vibration enough that Earth would make it over to a fourth density planet. You might ask yourself, you might wonder, are you one of those volunteers? Are you someone who came here for the sole purpose of raising the vibration of the collective so that we could make that fourth density shift? The first wave had it the hardest. A lot of those people were killed because the message that they brought was just not be able to be understood or accepted by people around them, and it was very difficult for them. And then we had another wave that I believe they're in like their 60s and 70s, and then our most recent wave would be our children and up to maybe around the age of 25. And there may be another wave in and around the age of like the 30s to 40s. Comment below on this video if you have read Dolores's stuff and you know about the 3 waves of volunteers and the age groups that they fit into. And so we get all wrapped up and concerned about all the stuff that we have to do and what we're supposed to accomplish and all the money we're supposed to make and all the goals that we want to achieve. And your soul really was just like, I'm just coming here to be a happy being that's going to essentially raise the vibration. Because if you've heard me talk about David Hawkins' map of consciousness at all, there's all these levels of consciousness right here. The lowest is shame. People are existing in this frequency all the way up to enlightenment. There's a tipping point right around before courage where we move into more happiness and productivity. And below here, we have hyperactivity and here inaction. So this is where we have to work really hard. We have to force a lot and we don't see a lot of results. And as we move up here, we move into more power. Things get to be more effortless. More is done without us working nearly as hard. 85% of the population exists from here below. And this is a logarithmic scale. So you see numbers here, every number is 10 times to the power of the number below. So a person who vibrates up in these levels actually neutralizes, for lack of a better word, 750,000 people who exist down here. So you just being in an energy of love, an energy of peace, an energy of joy is impacting the world in such a huge way. And you are raising the vibration of the collective. You're raising the consciousness of the collective to help more and more people make that shift into New Earth. So if I can leave you with anything, it's that when you see all this craziness going on, do not lose heart. Do not be discouraged. See it for what it is. It's a lot of propaganda and information in order to keep people afraid. There is very little truth to a lot of it. It's all twisted up and mangled in all different ways. Nothing is as it seems. There's people at the top working the strings in order to create these events in order to keep people afraid and fighting against each other. So don't buy into the fear. Don't fall for their tricks, but always come at it with love. You can contribute. You can say in this situation, you can come with love to children who are needing food and shelter. You can help people who are struggling with their education. It's not that you can't contribute and bring hope and healing to these places, but you don't have to feel the fear and you don't have to buy into that agenda anymore. You don't have to play that game. And I would strongly suggest you just don't tolerate it. You don't buy into that anymore. And you shift your vibration so that you are shifting along with the new earth into fourth density and are bringing as many people with you as you can. So how do we do that? We focus on the good. We focus on the good in any situation and feel the gratitude for it. You might think, I can't see anything good in this situation. Trust me, there is always something good that comes out of everything. There's multi-millions of bits of information going on every second, and your brain can only process 40 bits per second. You are changing your reality by what you are choosing to give your attention to. Every person around you has the potential to be evil or good, and by what you focus on is what you're going to bring out of that individual. So be diligent in this. Be very, very diligent in focusing on what's good. See the good in the situation. See the good in people. Choose love. Choose unity. We all have flaws. We all have problems and evil within us. So judging it in others is because we're all one, is essentially judging it in yourself. So bring that love and acceptance, feel the gratitude, and serve. Be of service to others. Do good in the world. Send a lot of love and help people. And that's essentially going to keep your vibration on an upward, for lack of a better word, track, and get you into that experience and that reality of fourth density, new earth. So be excited. You're on track. You're right where you're supposed to be. You're going through all these things because your soul wanted to really have an amazing experience and really wake up in this lifetime. You've got this. You are here for just a time as this. You have chosen this experience. You've chosen this game and this adventure. It's up to you, now that you're waking up, to navigate it and move through it in a way that gives you the most fulfilling, passionate, exciting, beautiful life that you deserve and that is totally within reach for you to experience in this lifetime. I hope you really enjoyed that video and were able to take away some nuggets that are helping you on your journey. I am deeply committed to my mission to raise the vibration of the world one person at a time. Of course, that starts with me and my own journey and then extends through the teaching and energy and healing work that I do on a day-to-day basis. I see really two angles to come at this journey of evolution for us to raise our vibration so that we can experience abundance and freedom and joy, those loving relationships, those healthy bodies, all those things that you're searching for. It actually is a journey that happens from within. And on the one angle, we come at this from understanding, gaining wisdom, beginning to discover ourselves and who we really are. How does the cosmos work? What is the soul's journey? This is why I teach on YouTube and give videos on my social media, in order to gain understanding and wisdom and awareness so that we can logically move ourselves forward. The other angle to come at this is through inner work, through healing, through what has been coined as shadow work. This is why I do energy work and I use things like the emotions code, like bioresonance, do subconscious reprogramming, brain entrainment, all these beautiful and wonderful things in order to do work inwardly to shift our vibration. When I say shift our vibration, you naturally, at spirit soul level, vibrate at a very high level with perfect abundance and freedom and joy and all those things. But what happens though through life experiences, we tend to hold on to things like limiting beliefs, traumas, fears, doubts, anxiety, stress, all this kind of stuff that's not you. So our journey of raising our vibration is actually a journey of letting go of that which is not us. And so that is the other angle that I utilize in order to help people raise their vibration into these places that feel really, really good. What happens over YouTube though, or over these videos, is that there can be a disconnect. You can't necessarily talk to me or ask your questions. And so you sometimes feel like you're alone. So I'm really excited to announce that I have a membership where we can meet once a week and you're able to ask me questions as well as work with other people that are like-minded and on this journey together of raising our vibration, of manifesting lives that are beautiful and wonderful, that we're so happy and excited to be alive, living our passions and doing the things that bring us a lot of joy. On those calls, I will actually work with you individually as well. For people who are wanting help, I can release negative trapped emotions right there in person. For those who would like that done, I can use my bioresonance technology in order to read your frequency right then and there and actually send you frequency that will help bring more balance for you as well. And you can also, again, ask your questions, and I share even more tips and tricks than I have available currently on YouTube on how to heal the shadow on the day-to-day when you're on your own and I'm not there with you. What are these things and practices that you can do that ultimately raise your vibration? As we shift and release that which is not us, all the money and the relationships and the love and the health, it just is a byproduct of that. It's a symbol of the shift that's happening within yourself. So if this membership is something that sounds exciting to you, you want to connect with other like-minded people, you want to connect with me and grow in community together, there is a link in the description where you're able to get more information on that and sign up, and I would love to see you there.